Welcome to the Lunatics of Metal. I'm your host, JT, and with me, as always, are these two hooligans over here.
Jimmy!
Oh, yeah, that guy.
And me.
And that other guy. What's up, fellas? How you doing tonight?
Good, man.
Good.
Apparently
Good.
not too shabby.
Good.
Yeah.
Nice. It's good to see you, fellas. It's good to see you.
Good to smell you later.
Got a little chilly today.
Cooled
off the
you
last
had a
couple
little,
days.
You're not going to fart, are you?
Mm-hmm.
You know, somebody
not
could
that
be
kind of
watching
chilly.
this in the middle of July going, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
You guys talking
It's been
about-
warm and all of a sudden it got
That's
really cool.
the weather here has been really fucking weird this month.
This has
Here
been
we
great
are, we're,
weather.
We're in the month of May. When I left for work this morning, it was 41 degrees.
Nice.
I was like, what the hell?
What in the what?
It's just stupid.
Stupid shit.
But anyway, I digress.
What the stupid shit?
So
Yes, you may.
tonight, fellas, for your listening pleasure, we're talking about the band Carcass.
Caucus. They're from
and
Caucus.
particularly, we're talking about the album Heartwork.
For those of you on YouTube, that is a
Mighty
vinyl.
Heartwork. Caucus.
I said for those of you on YouTube, that is a vinyl record.
Yes.
So here we go. Carcass are an English death metal band from Liverpool. That's it. That's all we know about them.
Yep.
From 1999.
Oh, there's this too.
They were formed in 1985. They've gone through several lineup changes, leaving guitarist Bill Steer and bassist vocalist Jeff Walker as the only consistent members. They went on a hiatus in 1996, but then reformed again in 2007, but without their original drummer because of health reasons. He had a brain aneurysm or something like that.
That would be a good reason why not to play.
Yeah, I mean he survived it, but he couldn't play anymore.
I was going to say drumming's a little bit more stressful in death metal.
Maybe it wasn't an aneurysm that he had. I don't. Not right now. I can't really remember what it was. But anyway, to date, the band have released 7 studio albums, 2 compilation albums, 4 EPs, 2 demo albums, 1 video album, and 6 music videos.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Yes.
3 French hens.
And that hiatus, you know what they said they would never do? And they did it?
They said they'd never get back together.
Until Led Zeppelin did. Led Zeppelin got back together, so they said, well, I guess we got to get back together. That was back when they did that reunion show in like 10 years, 15 years ago.
Nice.
Oh, with Jason Bonham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They kept telling everyone when they would get asked that they would get back together when Zeppelin does. And then Zeppelin got back together and did a show, so they're like, well, fuck.
Yeah. I did learn some interesting stuff here that I really didn't know. Don't know a whole lot about Carcass. I mean, I know who Carcass is. I've listened to their albums. I didn't really know who they were. But Bill Steer and Kevin Owen met in high school, and soon after they formed a band, and it did not last very long. Steer then joined the D-Beat band, Disattack, with drummer, it says drummer Mitty, Paul on bass, and Peck on vocals. And then after releasing a 4-track demo entitled The Bomb Drops in 1986, the bass player left, and the band left the band and was replaced by Jeff Walker, who Jeff Walker was formerly a guitarist and vocalist for the band the Electro Hippies. Vocalist Andrew Peck changed his name to Sanjeev, I guess is how you say that, after a visit to India. At about the same time, Bill Steer joined Napalm Death.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah.
And he recorded the second side of what became Napalm Death's first album, Scum.
Yeah.
And then what's cool about that is Jeff Walker is the one that designed the album cover for Scum.
Oh.
Fucking weird.
Yep.
That's interesting stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, it really was. There was a lot of cool changeover stuff that I really didn't realize.
Wasn't that Michael Arnett also? He was an Arch Enemy too, right?
Yes. And he joined the band shortly after. When did he join?
I thought he was only on this record, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's on this.
Yeah, but I'm saying
he is on this.
Okay, because I have seen Arch Enemy with him playing before.
Wasn't there a member too that was involved in Carnage, or no? Or am I wrong?
Yes. Michael Lamont actually joined on the Symphonies of Sickness album, and he also had worked with the band Carnage.
I think that's from like
Michael Lamont, for me, his big claim to fame for me is Arch Enemy.
Which on this record, he's really not a primary songwriter. He's more of a soloist.
No, in fact, it was weird. I was watching an interview where they had talked about Jeff had talked about, or not. It was an interview with Jeff and Bill both, and Bill had talked about how he wrote almost all of the rhythm section, and Amont, all he did was came up with a couple leads and a couple of pieces of rhythm. It just really wasn't very much. He was basically playing what Bill had come up with.
Yeah, he was pretty much just brought into the fold. Like after most of it was pretty much put together, the way I read it.
Right. Yeah. They just showed him how to play everything, and he did it.
Which this album is great, front to back. Like there's no weak links.
No, this album is great, and it's funny. So because of this, I wasn't going to get into this early, but I went back, and I've been listening to this all week. Great album, by the way. But I went back and I listened to the first album. God,
Purifaction.
Yeah. And I listened to that, and man, it's a rough listen, dude.
It's a rough listen, but
but what's crazy is that album's only like 20 minutes long.
Yeah, but then you go to Symphonies,
album.
Like from there, and
then
they jumped. It's so much better.
It's huge.
Symphonies
huge
is
difference.
So much better.
Symphonies is actually, I kind of skimmed through it because
album.
I remember hearing it when I was younger, but I haven't listened to it in forever. Carcass was not one of my mainstream bands. I remember hearing them. I liked what I heard, but it just, they weren't a band that I chased. But Symphonies was such a step above.
Yes, freak.
Yeah, it was crazy.
This album was one of the ones for me though that it was in rotation the whole time, all the time.
Yeah.
For death metal albums, I would put this album on the Mount Rushmore of records released in death metal.
It's a great one.
It's pretty damn good.
Classic.
It's pretty damn good.
It's an all-time classic in the genre for sure.
And I would also have to say that this album is the most rock and roll death metal album I've ever heard.
No,
absolutely,
yes,
absolutely,
completely.
There are some songs. There is a lot
of rock and roll vibe.
A lot of
times death and roll
with
scene in which their next album was totally, or not their next. Yeah, their next album, Swan Song, was totally death and roll.
Yeah,
which I wasn't a big fan of that genre.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There's a groove to this, though. Is what I'm
This
getting at.
album's
It is.
got
It's
a
different.
lot of groove to it. Lot of groove.
Yeah, but a lot of
But then again, so
a
does,
lot of melody
so does
too, a
some-
lot of technicality,
Yeah.
a lot of technical
Yep.
stuff, and a lot of melody, and just yeah, it's great.
I remember hearing this right around the same time I heard "Low" by Testament when it came out. Like it was pretty close to the same time frame.
Yeah, 94.
So it just all like meshed together, like the sonics improved in metal in general right at that same time for recording, and the songwriting always just seemed to go up a notch. And there was several other records that all came out right at that same time frame, and it was just like a whole wave. And to me, this is one of the ones that led it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
So
definitely a huge album.
I just ran across that again, the Amat thing. Despite the addition of Amat to the ranks, Steer still handled all rhythm guitar duties, and Amat only contributing leads and one riff on the Necroticism album.
You said duties.
Duty.
Now, Necroticism is the album for me. Like that's one of my first death metal albums ever that I got into. That's one of the first few that I had, recorded on a tape. But
Right.
one of the ones that I helped get me into death metal. It was Cannibal Corpse, Butchered at Birth, and Necroticism, Carcass Necroticism on the other side. And I listened to that. Was two of my first death metal albums. So to me, like Heartwork and Necroticism are like, I don't know, from day to day, they're both great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love them both for different reasons. But Necroticism, like I said, was one of my first death metal albums ever. Like I said, that I really got into. So it's
I think
special.
and it's weird how you would. I don't even know how you want to look at this, but I think my first introduction to, I guess, death metal would have been Scream Bloody Gore.
Nice.
Kinda, but when I really, really got into death metal was the Bleeding.
yeah.
That's what really pushed me into it.
Great record.
Yeah. And of course, them guys are just, they've done everything,
Yeah.
But, yeah. So
Yep.
they did quite a few tours, when they were, after the Necroticism, Carcass toured the U.S. with Napalm Death, Cathedral, and Brutal Truth on the Campaign for Musical Destruction tour in 1992. And then along comes 1993. The band's fourth album, Heartwork, was released in the UK in October of 1993. It did not have its U.S. release until 3 months later. Was that December or January? I don't know.
I don't know.
It was considered a radical change by many fans, which it absolutely was. If you go back and you listen to, especially the first two albums, it's just fucking huge difference. Was considered a radical change to many fans, which eliminated Steer's deeper vocals and the clinically gory lyrics. Again, Steer handled all rhythm guitar duties, this time due to Amat losing his passport in Israel. I thought that was kind of cool. He lost his passport, and then he couldn't make it back to England to record the album. So Steer ended up having to record all his parts, too. But song structures, while still containing musically complex parts, were simpler, in some cases using the verse-chorus-verse formula. After the release of Heartwork, Carcass signed a worldwide deal with Columbia Records, who hoped for commercial success, even suggesting that Jeff Walker learn how to sing. What fucking dickheads.
God love
Signed a
A&R.
record deal, and it's like, come on, dude. You fucking signed them because of the way they sound, and now you're telling them
fucking
that
typical
you want their
record label shit.
yeah, fuck you.
I remember when I first heard that No Love Lost video on MTV or whatever, and I was like, wow, that was like them. A lot of people thought they were selling out when that song came out, but it's what's crazy about Carcass is they've been pioneers in two genres basically, like gore grind, like symphonies.
Yeah. Yep.
It inspired a whole subgenre, and then Heartwork, melodic death metal, influenced a whole nother subgenre. And it's like, that's crazy that they inspired two different subgenres. I mean, this is brilliant band. Fucking album rules.
And this album was produced by Colin Richardson, which I didn't realize until recently, which explains a lot to the sonics of this, because that man is a genius, in my opinion, for recording. He's done so many records that you will all probably know, including one of my all-time favorites, Burn My Eyes. So
That's a great
you can,
album too.
And he's done many of their other works too, but it's just, they struck gold with him.
This
and
album
he
has
captured
like a real compressed sound. You know what I mean? It's real tight. It's got a real compressed sound.
It is. Very, very. I'm going to skip over this just real quick because there's a couple things I want to talk about. But by late 1994, 17 songs were ready, and the band set about using their $200,000 advance to record the album. Again, with Colin Richardson at Rockfield Studios in Monmouth, South Wales, in early 95. During the 6-week recording schedule, the record label began to withdraw support, stating that Carcass were not ready to record and needed to write more songs. They had 17 songs. What the fuck? Come on. This advice was ignored, as was the suggestion to have Terry Date remix the album. And the band continued. At the time, Jeff Walker stated in an interview with the UK's Metal Hammer magazine that the album was taking more of a classic rock approach with drums, bass, and twin guitars a la Thin Lizzy style.
Oh, I can totally hear that now that you mention it.
Yeah, in comparison to earlier multi-layer guitar productions, this has since been put down to Bill Steer's unwillingness to perform the time-consuming guitar layering, as once again Steer performed all rhythm guitar.
It just sounds bigger when you don't do that.
Yeah. During the Swan Song recording sessions, Carcass were asked to remix Bjork track Isobel. Isobel, I guess.
Isotoner, yeah.
Isotoner, yeah. This was not a remix as such, but more of a re-recording with only Bjork's vocals remaining. The track saw the light of day in March of 96 on Bjork's Hyper Ballad single. So Swan Song continuing record company problems with Columbia Sony caused the album to be delayed from late summer of 95 to June of 96, in which time Carcass moved back to Earache Records and broke up before even releasing Swan Song. The move back to Earache was dubbed by Walker as the second great rock and roll swindle. So basically what they did is they had gotten paid $200,000 to record this album for Columbia.
Which is unheard of for a death metal record.
Right.
Well, they got an advance on it.
I know, but usually back then you're lucky if you get $60,000 in a rock metal area, let alone $200,000 for death metal.
Yeah, that was
so. Columbia gives them a $200,000 advance to record this album, and then backs out of it. They move over to Earache Records and record the album, and Earache Records pays them again to record the exact same album. So they got paid twice.
Yeah, for one release.
I doubt they paid him $200,000
release. They had effectively been paid twice for the same album. Swan Song featured 12 of the 17 tracks put to tape during the recording sessions. Walker has since stated in interviews that all 17 songs should have been included in a double album. That would have been fucking cool, but
that I don't like that
happened.
Album. Yeah, I don't care. For that album.
And I get
Where
that.
are those songs?
Believe me, I get that.
To me, that album's long and boring enough with 12 songs. I remember waiting
So
for that
the
song.
reason why I wanted to go
ordering that album when it came out, Swan Song, and just ready for it, and I got it, and I was just like,
and you were
this
disappointed.
album's not very good.
It's different.
I don't hate it, but it's my
different.
least favorite Carcass album, hands down.
Yeah.
A lot of people love this album, though. It's become like a cult classic. Like I said, it was one of the albums that led the death and roll subgenre. You know what I mean? It was like, but I don't care for it. There's a few decent songs and some cool riffs, but overall, it kind of sucks in my opinion. The
reason why I wanted to talk about this is because this led up to the breakup.
Right.
And they got back together in 2007 and ran from, I think it was 2007 until...
Well, they're still...
Well, yeah, they're still together, but they split up again. I think it was in 2012 for a couple years and then got back together. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I was watching an interview with Bill and Jeff from this was from 8 or 10 months ago, something like that. And they were talking about how, when Heartwork came out, how it changed how they were. And, it pushed them to a different level. But that level is still not what we think of today. What Bill was talking about was whenever they were getting ready for this festival tour that they were doing last year, somebody had asked him, how's it feel to be playing for these big crowds again? And he's like, I don't know. This is a brand new thing. Mm-hmm. And they were like, well, what do you mean? He said, up to this point, he said, we played, and I don't remember the festival. I don't think it was Donington. It was a different one over there in England. But they had played to 42,000 people. He said that was the most people they had ever played to. Up to that point, the most people they had ever played for was 4,000 people, and that was somewhere in Poland.
Yeah, man, because
now you think about a band like Carcass, and the biggest show they had ever played was to 4,000 people.
You figure they would have been on a festival or something over there.
Yeah, I would have thought it, but apparently not.
It is, man. Death metal at that point was still underground, you know what I mean?
You're right.
Now a lot of these bands, there's a lot of bands like death metal and just extreme metal bands that are more popular now than they ever were, and it's crazy.
Well, and it just shows what has happened with metal as we know it. A lot of our peers, or our colleagues or our friends or whatever, they talk about how, they don't, how metal is different now. Well, yeah, it's fucking bigger than it's ever been. Back when we were younger, you had maybe one big festival a year. You'd have a Monsters of Rock that'd have 4 bands.
Right.
Now you got these big fucking Wacken festival where they're fucking playing to fucking 300,000 people.
Yep. Well, it's because
you got fucking Donington that's fucking 150,000 plus,
which has turned into Download.
Download.
20 fucking people, 20 fucking bands,
Dynamo
or whatever.
Hellfest,
look at our Ozfests, our fucking, you don't have Ozfests anymore, but
they're getting ready to start it back up.
Started back up. And Milwaukee Metal Fest, I'm getting ready to go to Milwaukee
Milwaukee Metal Fest, Milwaukee Metal Fest was always around because, we used to go to that in the 90s.
But it was much smaller than these other festivals.
But it was much
smaller.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you really look at it, it's like metal's not dead, people. Metal's fucking huge now.
Metal's just not dead people.
It's the second largest streamed music style worldwide.
What do you think about it is, when I go to, some of these fests I've been going to, man, you got young kids or whatever that are into it, but then you got a ton of people that are, our age, the older guys, because we grew up on it, you know what I mean? So you got this whole generation that grew up on it, but then you got a whole different generation that's discovering it like we were back 30 years ago.
Just not as much stateside. A lot more. It's more worldwide.
And it is cool, man. And you go to these fests, and like I said, you see a lot of old people, but you see a lot of young people too. And it's
look
really
at South America.
Cool.
You go to Rock in Rio, and it's 300,000 people every year.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing that these guys were talking about in this interview was, when they first started, you got to think Reek came out in 1988 and Symphonies came out in 1989. And they said, those albums were just really raw. And he said we couldn't, they couldn't compete with the thrash metal scene that was coming out of the Bay Area because they were getting such cleaner recordings such better recordings that he was like, we just couldn't compete with that, And then when Heartwork came out, that's when they got their, good recording.
Yeah.
And in the early 90s had the wall of Nirvana come in and completely shake everything up stateside. Worldwide, it didn't really affect it that much. The rest of the world's just like, oh, that's cool too, whatever. Over here, the people who were in the business end of it were like, okay, you're no longer cool, so we're going to put you over here. And then we're going to prop up these other bands, whether they needed it or not.
But the underground scene was thriving back in those days.
But
that
was
when I started getting into the death metal scene, like in '92,
that's
93,
true.
And then like '94, I was getting into the underground scene, like the zines and all and the underground scene was thriving. And to me, the alternative music was not. I'm not mad at that shit. It got rid of a bunch of fucking hair bands that were.
But there was a lot of those bands that shouldn't have been propped up that were.
Yeah, but it didn't. It didn't affect anything with metal, I don't think.
I think it completely did because the rugs got pulled out from underneath for a lot of the thrash bands, a lot of the other metal bands too.
A lot of it, I think, needed to be pulled out from underneath. I mean,
they went from playing like 20,000 places to like maybe 1,000 to 5,000.
But you still had Slayer that went on and trudged on, and Testament in these bands or whatever.
Testament almost broke up.
Yeah, but they still trudged through it, and now they're bigger than they have ever been.
You had bands like Death Angel that broke up. You had Exodus broke up.
That was that wreck.
You had Heathen break up.
Yeah,
there was a whole bunch of these bands that it basically took the steam out from underneath all of them.
But still, man, the underground scene thrived. Death metal scene was...
underground,
As that was dying off, the death
but
metal
underground
scene was,
isn't what drives it. That's just a piece of the puzzle.
The death metal scene became mainstream. It became more mainstream.
Right.
And it just,
The death metal scene took time, though, to do all that.
I don't feel like it affected real metal. Like, I don't.
I think it did.
Metal has to evolve. I mean, it's got to evolve.
It always does.
And to me, there's metal in like Soundgarden and Alice in Chains and things like that.
Yeah, Soundgarden is Black Sabbath 2.0, really.
Nirvana, I see like metal and some punk rock, and
and Alice in Chains call themselves a metal band.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not one of these, fucking alternative bands, metal.
But then you got bands like Screaming Trees that should have never been signed.
There were some that I got that I liked, but...
It's all subjective, but I'm just saying there were several of them that had such little talent that it's surprising. It's just like the hair metal movement 5 years before that, where they would sign a lot of those bands just because of the way they looked as opposed to the way they sounded.
Well, and a lot of those bands had that sound, though. I mean, a lot of your hair metal bands had phenomenal players in them.
Yeah, but that shit was getting...
but they were bad songwriters.
Oversaturated at that point. That shit needed... The rug needed to be pulled out from underneath them.
Yeah.
It hurt a few thrash bands, but
my point is it could have all been there together as opposed to canceling one for the other.
Yeah, but that's all the mainstream shit.
That was done by the business entity more so than the people that actually liked it.
Right, but
that's what I was trying to illustrate.
It's a real metal anyway, so.
Yeah. But anyway.
But yeah, Carcass.
Back to Carcass.
It's a great band.
back to Carcass. Heartwork, so we talked about, came out in October in 1993 in the UK by Earache Records, and in the United States on the 11th of January 1994 by Columbia Records. That's interesting. But making it the band's only major label release.
Yep.
Heartwork has been described as the band's breakthrough and mid-period masterpiece, as well as a landmark album in the melodic death metal genre.
If you're only going to release one of them on a major label, to me, this is the one to pick.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The album was recorded at Parr Street Studios in Liverpool from the 18th of May to the 21st of June, 1993. That's where the Beatles were from. Beatles.
That's only a month.
Liverpool.
And, of course, just like anything else, the sculpture depicted on the cover art, Life Support 1993, was designed by H.R. Geiger.
Geiger.
Yes.
Geiger.
Giger.
And it's an updated sculpture that he had created in the late 60s.
Oh,
The video
Giger.
for the title track features a real-life interpretation of the sculpture, including a human welded as a part of it.
Cool.
That's groovy,
And then
Grover.
the album was reissued as a
Cool,
dual
man.
disc on the 2nd of June 2008.
Straight.
Yes.
Until 2021's Torn Arteries, this was the only Carcass album to have the same lineup as the previous album.
Interesting.
Guitarist Michael Lamont left the band after the recording of the album before founding Spiritual Beggars, and was temporarily replaced by Mike Hickey.
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 Oh, Hickey's brother.
And then Bill Steer says Heartwork is his favorite Carcass album.
Well, according to this, Spiritual Beggars is still active.
Yeah.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Same thing with Arch Enemy
Wonder.
and Candlemass.
Candle.
Oh, that's Michael Lamont in there in
Yeah.
that picture. Look at that.
Well, I'll be. Would you look at that?
Would you just look at it?
Just look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Would you look at it?
I'm looking at
Would
it.
you just look at it?
Just look at him with his headband on.
The band began composing songs for Heartwork while on tour for Necroticism. Jeff Walker recalled, "I suppose that we were really doing what we were really doing was going for shorter songs. We were beginning to write songs that were less wandering. Not that we weren't capable of being complex or technical, something like albeit mocked fleesh. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'll just fleesh. Prove that to be the case. They were going for shorter songs. Goddamn. Their first album, the average song length was like a minute and a half.
Yeah, but by necroticism, they
But
changed.
Necroticism, it was like 7 and 8 and 9 minute songs.
It's like.
Heartwork is.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No,
Well, like
go ahead.
symphonies, that was kind of like the gore grind or whatever with the pitch shift vocals and all that. And they started getting
I really like symphonies.
Symphonies
I
is
thought
really fucking good, man.
Yeah.
It really is. But then by necroticism, they started adding the melodic stuff, and that was the perfect bridge album to Heartwork.
Yeah.
To me, those three albums are just so perfect. Symphonies, necroticism, and Heartwork. And necroticism being that bridge album. Fucking fantastic.
Yeah, and that's what they were saying. Heartwork has been noted for its strong sense of melody.
Mm-hmm. Started
the
on
album
necroticism, and
Can,
they mastered it on Heartwork.
the album contains influences from the new wave of British heavy metal. The album's sound has been described as Megadeth being flushed down a toilet.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
Dude, those
fucking
harmonies,
hilarious.
the guitar harmonies
Oh,
on
Jesus.
that album that become riffs basically are just
Yeah.
so fantastic. I love it. It's just so
Yeah, and
unique.
the thing is I could actually hear Dave Mustaine play on this record if he wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, style wise, it would fit.
Heartwork sold at least 81,000 units. It spawned one single under the same name that featured the title track and non-album tracks, This Is Your Life and Rotten Roll. The album was re-released in 2008 as part of an ongoing series of Carcass reissues to tie in with their reunion. The main album is presented as one side of a dual disc, while the DVD side features the fourth part of an extended interview documentary titled The Pathologist Report Part 4, Epidemic. Oh, that's kind of cool.
Nice.
This has the original and it has the demos on it on the vinyl.
Oh,
reissue.
nice.
This is a reissue here. The CD's the OG, but
What
this is
label?
yeah.
This is Earache. This one's the old CD's Columbia, / earache.
Heartwork is considered by some to be the best British extreme metal album of the 1990s and is widely considered to be one of the greatest death metal albums of all time.
I can't argue with that statement.
Argue that. I will not.
In an October 2007 interview, Vile frontman Matt Drake described Heartwork as just one of the best albums ever. Metal Hammer said the album was arguably the point where melodic death metal became a cohesive idea, calling it the genre's defining statement.
Right.
A lot of people before this were making noise when it came to like your lead work and that type of stuff, as opposed to
Not
skill.
all. There was still a lot of great skilled ones, too.
No, but that was more of the norm. You had people doing more of the Slayer type solos and that type of stuff.
Still had a lot of good.
Where it was just, rip it and gun it. Where in this one, stuff feels more thought out, but it's got a flow to it and a bounce.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Which I can see more with some other bands too, like Death doing that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And Morbid Angel.
Yeah.
In 2003, Heartwork was named one of the best 25 heavy metal albums of all time. In 2013, Heartwork was inducted into the Decibel Magazine Hall of Fame, becoming the 100th overall inductee and second Carcass album to be featured in the Decibel Hall of Fame right after Necroticism.
Decimal Hall of Fame. That's just funny.
Nice. You ever get
Rolling
those mags?
Stone ranked Heartwork as 51st on their list of the 100 greatest metal albums of all time.
It's a great one, man. To me, this one and Necroticism are just two of the greatest death metal albums ever, in my opinion.
So, Andy, top 3?
This is a hard one because every fucking song rules, man. I mean, it's hard to pick. I'm going to go Buried Dreams, Carnal Forge, and Embodiment. Yeah, I mean, but I could pick, they're all great. I mean, every fucking song on here this is a perfect album to me, and I'm going to give this one a 10. I would give this one and Necroticism a 10. I just think they're perfect death metal records. Necroticism and this one. Perfect. So I agree with the review that he was talking about. I got Jim's squeaky chair. He got me a new squeaky chair.
Got to raise your leg and squeak.
What about you, Gerald?
Okay, so I'm just gonna throw this out there right now. This Mortal Coil is the best fucking song on this album, dude. The whole fucking guitar riff, all those fucking pull-offs that they're doing at fucking lightning speed is fucking insane.
Every song is so perfect.
Dude, I absolutely love that song. The vocals on it are killer, but man, just the guitar work on that song is awesome. So that's going to be my number one song on this whole album. And then I think I'm going to pick Blind Bleeding the Blind. I really dig that. And my other favorite song on this, and it's strictly because of the instrument work and the flow of the song, is Death Certificate. It's just a killer song.
There's no wrong answers on this album.
There's really not. Honestly, it depends on my mood, on what songs I'm going to like. I'm going to tell you right now, this Mortal Coil is always going to be my favorite song on this album. I caught myself after a while like skipping certain songs just so I could hear other songs. So for me, it's not a perfect album, but it's really damn close. God, I don't even know what to do with this. I would probably, man, that's tough, dude. I want to say 8, but I can't say 9. I'm going to go 8.5 on it. It just because there's songs, like I said, when I listen to it, there's stuff I skip to hear other things, not saying that every song's not good. There's some greats on here. I think for me, 75% of this album is fucking phenomenal.
Don't disagree.
Yeah.
So 8.5 for me.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think 75% is perfect, but I think the other 25% is perfect too.
Yeah. There you go.
Remember, 85% of 50% is half mental.
Yeah.
And 60% of the time, it works every time.
Yeah.
Sex Panther.
Perfect album.
My top 3 could change depending upon the day of the week. However, I'm going to pick Heartwork as my number 1.
I almost
that
picked
probably won't change. The albeit mocked fly fish or whatever,
Yeah.
fried fish, whatever that is.
Fried fish. Yeah. Albert's fried fish.
I've got to put that one for my number 2.
Fried fish, maybe.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna do that, and then I'm probably gonna go Nocturnal Expletives. Yeah, for right now, that's the way I feel. Tomorrow it's gonna be a different list.
Yeah, there's no wrong answers. To me, every song is fucking great.
But I'm gonna give this a 9.9. The only thing that stops it from being a 10 is I've always felt the vocals on this record could be better.
That albeit mock fleisch is a German phrase meaning work makes meat. or work creates flesh.
Fried fish.
Yeah, there you go.
It is a brutal, cynical pun created by the death metal band Carcass.
Nice.
That's cool.
Now, when they got back together in whatever you said, 07-ish, whatever, I went and saw them at Pops. I was at Guitar Center, and their bus or whatever came through the store, and nobody from the band actually came inside, but their crew did. And the crew guy came up to me, and it's like, who you work for? And he's like, Carcass. I was like, what? That perked me up right away. So he put me on the guest list that night, and I got in the show, which was really cool. So I sat up by the soundboard, and I was like, man, they were just on it. They were great live. But the only knock I really had about it is in between songs, you'd hear zzz, then a little pop, and then it would stop. And after the show was done, I ran into that same crew guy, which, by the way, he was from Europe and spoke very broken English. And he goes, what'd you think, man? I explained to him, I was like, dude, they were killer. I loved them, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, but I have a question. He goes, what's that? He goes, what was that buzzing I kept hearing and then stopping? He goes, he just started kind of grinning. He goes, that's the Randall amplifiers. Back then, Randall had these modular amp modules that you could put inside this type of guitar head. And depending upon, Kirk Hammett had one, George Lynch had one. So you picked whatever you wanted, and you just switched them out. So they had whatever model it was that they had in there, but it made a buzzing sound. And he said, the only way we can stop that buzzing sound is to take a hammer to the side of the head when it's playing.
Hit him in the fucking head with a hammer?
Pretty much. That's exactly what they did. So he goes, it didn't affect the sound at all until they stopped playing, and it was dead silence. And then you heard the buzz. And so you have to hit it, and it stops. It's just like, that's fucking
So basically,
weird.
you had to give it a Fonzie.
Yeah. Hey.
That's awesome.
Yep.
But,
They fixed their amp, and they got laid.
yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
At Pops, they just go next
That's a cool
door.
story, dude. In 2008, Carcass performed an exclusive UK show at the Damnation Festival in Leeds. It was the first time Carcass had played in England in 14 years.
Wow.
They're from England. And I was looking at this Damnation Festival. This Damnation Festival, it is described as the biggest indoor extreme metal festival in Europe, with more than 40 bands playing on 3 stages and a capacity of 6,000 people.
Sounds like Milwaukee Metal Fest.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, see?
Only not in Milwaukee.
Yeah. So now, Andy, didn't you just see
I
Carcass?
was going to say, I seen them like a year ago or something, or around a year ago for the first time. So I all them years, man, I've loved Carcass, and I've never got to see them. So
They were great when I saw them.
Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah, I have
seen
never
them
got to see them live.
Cannibal Corpse and Meshuggah, and I'd seen Meshuggah before and Cannibal Corpse a million times, and I went because Carcass was there. I'm like, man, I've never seen them, and I'm, so.
How long did they play?
Bucket list. Not very long, probably about 35 minutes. But
wow.
When I got a chance to see
but
them,
it was a fucking brutal 35 minutes.
Yeah, it was cool. They played a lot of it was cool. So
fuck yeah. That's killing.
I've been marking them bucket list bands off the last few years or so.
I'd say 1 out of 3
cool.
songs came off of Heartwork when I saw them.
Wow.
Symphonies through Heartwork, though, that's perfect, man.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Brilliance. And like Surgical Still, their comeback album was fucking great too, man. Thought that was a great album. Like I said, they're really the only one I don't really care for is Swan Song. And I don't hate it, but it's just not, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like there was so much turmoil going on with everything and swirling around them that it was kind of hard for them to do what they wanted to do, and they just kind of threw the towel in.
Like I said, I was never real big into that death and roll shit anyway.
I like it, but I like rock and roll. So
I love rock and roll too. I love rock and roll, but death and roll, no. Keep your death metal out of my rock and roll, man.
Yeah.
Keep your rock and roll out of my death metal, man.
Keep your peanut butter out of my chocolate.
mellow out, man.
Wait, that's different. So I don't know. I thought this was weird. Carcass headlined Damnation Festival in Leeds before embarking on the Defenders of the Faith tour. With Amon Amarth and Hell. Wait a minute. Isn't that a Judas Priest album? What are you guys doing here?
You are correct, yeah. They're English too.
Oh, Carcass performed on the 70,000 Tons of Metal in January of 2014.
Yep.
I've always wanted to go to one of those.
I think our buddy...
That is correct.
What's his name?
Dean.
God damn it. Dean, yeah. I think our buddy Dean...
Yeah, he posted from there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Carcass.
Fucking A, man. Fucking A, man.
Get your carcass out of here. Well, yeah, you oughta.
Yeah.
Why I oughta.
Yeah,
But
Carcass
American
has been around the block a few times.
Yeah, they're one of the fucking OG pioneers, man.
But they never quite got the recognition they deserved, I don't feel.
That's because they never really held it
They
together
never
long
chased
enough
it
to get
though.
momentum.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of these bands are now more than ever. Like, there's lots of these bands I've been seeing that they're bigger than they've ever been. Like, I'm going to see at Milwaukee Metal Fest on the Friday night. Acid Bath is headlining, and they're playing for the biggest crowds they've never been.
They've probably
this popular.
ever played for.
Yeah, they put out.
Yeah, they're playing them like crazy on Liquid Metal right now.
Yeah, and like they've never been this popular before.
Yeah.
And that's just
and
one
that's
example.
That's what I don't understand. Like, you hear people say, metal's dead. Metal ain't fucking dead. You're just not fucking listening.
It's the second most popularly streamed style of music according to the streaming services.
I mean,
worldwide.
What's
not
number
in the
one?
States. Pop
What's
music.
number one? Don't tell
Actually, no.
Don't tell me it's country.
No,
don't tell me it's country.
In the States, it's pop music, but not worldwide. Pop music is number 3 worldwide.
Wow.
It's actually rap.
Oh,
worldwide. Whatever, man.
I just heard Jose talk about that like 3-4 months ago on the radio.
Canseco?
Yep. The metal ambassador himself.
Yeah. Where we hung out with him that one night.
Yeah. He was really full of energy that night.
I smoked weed with him on the fire escape.
I watched 2 interviews with Jeff Walker. One was Jeff Walker and Bill Steer, which was a really cool interview. They were sitting in a pub over in England, and that was the one that was like 10 months ago, 8-10 months ago, something like that. And then there was one that was just from like a couple weeks ago. And dude, I was like, I almost didn't recognize fucking Jeff Walker in this new interview because now he has no hair. Well, he has hair, but it's like really short and almost white.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit.
Look up the Carcass interview on Dead by Dog.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. mark that or something. It's a good one. It's a guy that I know. He does
Nice.
good interviews.
Nice.
Yeah, and he's a good interviewer. He asks questions that the real fans want to hear. You know what I mean? But it's a really good interview. It's raw. It's
So lube or no lube? That is the question.
No lube. You got to rub that thing dry.
Yes.
Just don't rub it raw.
Don't do that. Don't rub it raw.
Anyway, there you go, folks. Carcass, Heartwork.
Carcass.
So what's our homework?
That's up to Andy.
I think
Andy
I'm going
was
to pick.
supposed to be deciding this.
I'm going to pick Heathen Victims of Deception.
Nice choice. Great record. You gonna check out some Heathen?
Heathen. I honestly, I know the first two albums. I'm not familiar with anything after that, and I love the first two Heathen albums. But
That's a band still going. So.
I got to see them live too, couple years ago at Milwaukee Metal Fest.
I have not.
So
That's a band that didn't play much around these
yeah,
parts.
I've been marking them fuckers off, man. Bleep, bleep.
Like Steve Buscemi from Billy Madison.
Bucket list.
Where's your lipstick?
Where's your lipstick?
I'm not gonna kill Jim tonight. I think I might.
Well,
But yeah.
I already have my pick for the next one.
What's that?
You guys
Gerald?
want to know what that is?
Yeah, I do want to know.
Because we
Don't-
just talked
Herman's
about it,
Hermits.
Don't disappoint us.
and I couldn't fucking believe we haven't fucking done this yet. We're gonna do fucking obituary cause of death.
Ah, I knew it. I knew you were gonna pick that.
I cannot fucking believe we have not fucking talked about obituary yet.
I knew
I
you were
can.
gonna pick that.
Because we
That
haven't done
is
it.
just an extreme oversight on all of our parts.
That's another one of my first death metal albums that when I was a teenager and I knew you were going to pick that. So I was like, man, I know Gerald's going to pick that. So that'll give me
What would have happened if you would have picked that instead of Heathen? What would have Gerald have done?
Well, then I would have fucking.
Well,
I would have said, okay, well, I'll figure that out.
I wasn't going to pick it for my next pick. Because
I kept thinking you were going to pick that.
I was going to go something in more of the Swedish death metal. I want to do something in the Swedish death metal genre, one of the pioneering, whatever. And but
Like
I knew you were going to pick that, so I thought, man, I'll get like an extra pick.
There you
Basically,
There
he's
you
going
go.
to pick. That's one of my all-time death metal albums too. So
Yeah.
Is
yeah.
anyway,
it-
we'll talk about that another time.
It kind of blew my mind when you guys brought that up the other day. I was like, fuck, I can't believe we haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
Wait a
Holy
minute.
shnikey.
That was my first obituary and one of my early death metal influences, like
Yeah.
big influences for
in,
the genre.
In fact, that's really fucking cool. The last time I saw Obituary, they probably played 90% of that album. It was
I'm seeing
fucking
them at
killer.
Milwaukee too here in a month.
I'm sure that's our most commercially viable one, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Incomplete
Oh,
probably, or even
World
World Demise, but
World
as
Demise was
the
pretty
real
big for
underground, the true heads. Cause of Death is or
Cause
Slowly
of
We
Death
Rot.
and Slowly We Rot was
It's
really
usually
good
one of them too.
Yeah.
Cool.
Slowly We Rot
well-
was my introduction to Obituary, but Cause of Death was
Cause of
just
Death was
fucking-
mine, and that was the one that was
You
my
know.
teenage
Cause
years.
of death.
But we'll talk about that another time.
But yeah, fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Straight tripping, boo.
Right on. All right, folks. Well, that's our show for tonight. Thanks for checking us out. And as always, stay metal.
Lettuce.
Proud.
Politicians do a crack in the tree. Ignorant disease in the human race. Fallen in the damage. We're born to hate. More air and suicide. Music to play. Common sense is acting. What a shame. Yeah. What a shame. fire.